The history of Audi. Audi was founded by Carl and Theo Albrecht. The first store was opened in 1913, and in 1960 Audi was split into two independent companies, Audi Sud and Audi Nord. Audi was the first German company to offer self-service, and in 1983 Audi introduced chilled and frozen goods. Today Audi's network consists of over 10,000 stores around the world. In Australia, Audi operates 570 stores and employs 13,500 people. They partner with 1,000 Australian companies and have over 1,500 product lines. Audi's future plans include supply chain improvements, modern distribution centers, small format stores, and online grocery sales.
Thank you, Dean. LoadMate is a program introduced into Audi in 2001. It tracks the performance of employees while they unload stock from pallets onto store shelves. The program creates an average time per employee based on continued input, comparing results to preset benchmarks. LoadMate allows managers to view all employees' statistics, allowing them to monitor employee performance and coach those who need further training. The purpose of LoadMate is to ensure all employees are held to the same standards and that there is a fair and unbiased system in place to ensure compliance and performance. When LoadMate was first introduced, employees at store level did not support this change. The innovation was viewed negatively, a way for corporate to further control employees. Audi employees already had strict replenishing times in place with minimal staff to complete these tasks. The program solidified the opinion of employees that corporate were pushing them harder and making their jobs near impossible. Employees refused to use the program and managers were not comfortable to enforce the change as they could see the negative impact it was having on morale. The program was not properly utilised for several months. To ensure the proper utilisation of the program, executive managers oversaw store managers to ensure the new change. With reluctance, store managers started to enforce the use of LoadMate, dealing with resistance and manipulation of results from staff in the earlier phase. With further communication and adjustments made to benchmarks based on store management and employee feedback, employees were able to understand the benefit of the new program. Employees soon realized that LoadMate ensured that all employees were held to the same benchmarks, ensuring that those who fell behind the benchmark would be coached to perform the standard. A positive for high-performing store employees who felt that their hard work was compensating for the poor performance of other employees. The top-down approach was utilized to implement LoadMate, which involves the implementation of change and its processes from top-level managers, with minimal feedback from low-level workers. Audi utilized the original change model proposed by Beckard and Harris, changing through time from the present state to the desired future state. The future desired state for the company was to find a way to ensure all employees were kept to the same performance standards and that there was a way to accurately document these statistics for future training and performance records. Audi can be viewed as an organism. Audi needs to continually adapt to the external environment to keep their competitive advantage. Audi as a machine is also another useful metaphor to understand the company. Audi has utilized a simplistic system ensuring solid productivity for the company. All processes and procedures are standardized and regulated by store and executive managers to be efficient. LoadMate was introduced to keep the company's competitive.
Audi innovation to change has process of participative dialogic and process-based approach when the bottom force field analyze the problem and present it to upper level management. The communication perspective turn leadership to listen to a situation, subjected as appreciative inquiry, where the management appreciates for the action of sense-making organizational change. Possibility of resolving the problem brings a participative, a dialogue approach from the bottom-up and top-down decision-making process. This relational perspective combines process, dialogue, and social construction. Early, Audi didn't have a strategy for selling any product online when it started selling special product in the store. Subsequently, management didn't realize to change the sale process adapted to a new assortments. All employees drive attention to importance of change. So the change is constructed and social determined effort performed in dialogue. This case outlines adaptive ALDI organizational process that combines Levin's three stages of change: unfreezing, change process, and refreezing. The change process of evolution has orientation of continuity with elements of the 4D cyclical method of appreciate inquiries organizational development approach with positive experience. First, discover, identify the problem. Employee starts to talk about the problem. They actively engage in discussion. Dream, analyze the problem and possible cases. Present sharing positive collaboration and may result in some graphical representation of desired future state. Design, generate solution, involves people in action required in moving forward to get concrete proposal and how to make the change. Destiny, implement based solution, generate a positive image to achieve design. The bottom and upper organizational level are collectively involved in constructing their desired and shared future.
The project plan can be broken into 5 stages: the project plan overview, tasks required, risks associated, resources required, and the evaluation plan. Project plan overview. A project plan should outline the steps involved in order to accomplish project goals. The project plan will provide a clear roadmap for managers and employees to follow. Tasks required to implement LoadMate. Planning, implementation, and ongoing management. Freeze, unfreeze, and refreeze. According to Beckett, 1969, the approach to planning phase should attempt to include all employees, seeks to improve both working conditions and organizational effectiveness, and is supported by top management. Things we need to consider are improve organization's health and effectiveness through the whole systems change, systematically introduced planned interventions, apply a top-down strategies to get all employees committed, introduce change incrementally, and base planned change on empirical data. Lastly, effective, lasting rather than temporary change within the organization. Risks associated implementing LoadMate and how these risks can be managed. The largest risks could be the communication not being passed correctly onto employees. In examining the choice of communication methods, timing, and media, there is no best communication method. An array of communication will need to be employed to ensure communication is effectively passed. The best method of communication is dependent on context. Resources required. There is little actual, physical, tangible items required to implement LoadMate besides iPads. The most required resource is a top-down support for the implementation of LoadMate from management. Another resource is time. Change is only understood through the concept of time, a critical, intangible factor, but is rarely unmasked, explored, and theorized. Change management is traditionally conducted based on the objectives of time. When creating an engaging story of change, time can be a critical factor. The evaluation. There are 2 phases in the evaluation plan: comparing the results from before the change and comparing them to the present. Also, comparing the stores that have not implemented the change to the stores that have implemented the change. Second, how did the change go? Is there something that could be improved? Any fine-tuning? Is there any ice toppings that could be conducted to ensure we achieve the desired state? Never let up. Keep learning from experience and don't declare victory too soon. Thank you, Taylor. In conclusion, the benefits of implementing LoadMate in the Aldi stores are clear. They include driving employee training and productivity by developing best practices, providing coaching and feedback. The project plan presented in this report has identified several key actions that will be used to successfully implement the program within the Aldi stores. This report has also identified the key risks associated with the project and how they can be managed. The evaluation plan presented in this report aims to evaluate the successful implementation of LoadMate in Aldi stores. This evaluation will provide evidence that the implementation process was successful. Given the existing implementation of LoadMate in Aldi stores, it is likely the program will continue to be implemented with success in future stores. The clear benefit of this project, the minimal risk and nominal resources required to implement the program in the Aldi stores, makes it an important project.